Hi, it's been a while. This time I'll be going over a game showing what to do when you have sandworms get out of control. It can be a bit difficult to deal with that, so this might be helpful. So this is probably maybe my favorite pack. The Crawler, Steel Ball, Speed Spec. I mean, this one's kind of cool too, but I really enjoy this here because it lets me move into a kind of dominant play pattern. I line the steel balls up with the arc lights just to kill them off fast. And then I'll probably put crawlers here and try and push them into the tower here. I buy the hounds. I've been buying them more than arc lights recently because of their utility. They have fire extinguisher. And that can be useful sometimes if people start picking spells on you. I'm just wiggling these around so I can hit the crawlers instead of the sledgehammers first. The main reason why I move the crawlers up here is if someone puts down a rhino, then the crawlers distract it from going to these towers. If someone doesn't, then I get the tower. Especially with the speed specialist, usually this dies before anything else can get up in there. So the arc lights die. Yeah, due to speed, all of us dies pretty fast usually. Um, it's very easy to play off of that opening, even from on the line. And I get a lot. So I'm already clearing into the center while people are still fighting. I don't think I get this, but it would have been nice if I got it. But yellow gets it instead. They're also speed spec, but I don't think the Sabertooths are quite as good with that specialist. There's someone doing giant spec and then another with training spec. I think this season training spec is extremely strong because of the experimental death knell. You can hold on to, well, you can pick training spec and then level the death knell over what it should normally be. I mean, it's pretty good anyway, but yeah, you'll see death knell drops. I take it on rounds. This round 2 death knell is extremely good. You can go. I prefer the laser techs over the shield techs. The reason is because if someone goes shield techs, then the laser techs counter it. Other players have different ideas. I was getting suspicious of a green over here because there's nothing on his board, which means he's stocking up resources. I start to go into fangs. Yeah, normally I would like to go into mustangs. I didn't see an opening to do that quite yet, so I put down fangs. And whenever I get the something like a Melter or a Death Knell. I kind of like Fangs a bit better than Mustangs. It's still not. I still probably could have gone Mustangs here. This. I'm testing it out of theory though, with the Death Knell here, if I can clear this without using a missile or anything. I think I can. The multi-beam is kind of strong against these Typhoons. I mean, really, I should have put down a Rhino and blown it up, and then I think I would have got to this tower here before anyone else did. But it's all good. I did notice the fortress on the other side. I wasn't too worried about it. I have the Death Knell and the Fangs. I think eventually, if I just go Fangs, I think I can beat most of this. It kind of gives me a clear to keep going on it. Then there's another intensive training shows up. It means that these Death Knells are probably going to get pretty high level. Yeah, so I double up with this. Probably not the best for this situation, but I do put the line of fangs in front of it. It should help clear through this. I still dislike the hackers here, so I'm gonna missile them. You'll notice here, I didn't see this yet, but here Green has put down a sandworm, and they have double intensived it, so it's going to be a bit of a problem shortly. On this side, there's just these fortresses. It's a bit early for them to hit Fang production, I think. They'll probably get through this though. They have enough damage to kill the marksmen and the rhinos, assuming the fortresses don't get killed first. This player was looking like they were over-investing into the Death Knell, but we'll see. It's not super threatening to me. I did pick up Phoenix. I thought Phoenix is. I didn't have any burst style of damage, and I thought Phoenix would help. I really do like these steel pulse. Like I normally get 2 packs most games, even if I have a slower composition. For one, if I put them down here, they normally make it out here by the same time as my slow units do. And then also, these are primed for sending as a beacon play into my opponent. And if one of my opponents starts aggressing on me, I can counter flank as well. And the steel balls, they're not super good at counter flanks. They're mainly for flanking, but sending this is nice. Okay, so my response on seeing the sandworm, I did see the super heavy armor as well. I assumed it was going on this. So I immediately picked up Radon and Ionization. And my hope isn't exactly to... Well, my hope is to try and slow this down. Like, I'm hoping to kill this before it levels. I really... Ionization isn't quite enough, but by itself. But yeah, I'm hoping the rest of the stuff together will do it. Try and move this forward. The reason I move this forward is just to have more locks. So you see it starts hitting more things. I probably should have moved it forward a bit more, I think, and then it would have killed a bit faster. Like maybe 5 seconds faster. It would have been significantly faster actually, but it was still nice. Yeah, this worm is a bit out of control already, just due to what happened in the unit reinforcements. So it's going to kill everything. The experimental death knell, it's pretty strong, but the issue isn't that its health is actually not that high. So even though it's strong, it's not going to survive taking hits. So this is it's kind of big that the Raidens get rid of the one worm. It keeps the worm player from having too much victory points at the beginning. If they start snowballing, they're building 300 cost units a lot, so it's going to end up really quickly getting out of control. I pick up the efficient tech research. I tend to like that for the way I play. I get a lot of different units. I haven't teched them yet, and so I can usually tech like one tech for a lot of different units rather than going a lot of techs on a few different units. Also, there is a big benefit when you have the experimental death knell. The efficient tech, it discounts the maximum as well. So you get up to, normally it goes up, the tech cost goes up to 800, it will go to 750 instead. So if you do like to dump in on the techs, then it does a lot. Especially if you didn't tech much beforehand. So here I'm trying to be a bit greedy. I'm sending a crawler pack up to the supply ship. I thought I could do that. Also getting more steel balls. I'm already in I've kind of swapped to being in a regressed position. I think I've heard this called like a fortress position. But because of speed spec, it clears out pretty fast. But the nice thing about this position is I can send it in different directions and have it reach behind opponents' lines. And you kind of get to see how out of control this thing is getting. It got double intensive again. So it's level 7 on round 5, which is a bit ridiculous with the super heavy. So even the larva is actually kind of giant sized at the looking like a fortress, essentially. So yeah, I already have the rhinos. They're explosive. I can this wave I always like dropping a rhino on if I can. It just makes it's just very reliable. And you'll see here's a mountain. Um, that will be the main counter I'll be putting down for the worms. It won't be able to survive this level 8 worm, but it will deal with um, what I suspect is a lot of deployments of worms. You kill some of them off. So I put it on the side. I don't pick extended range ammo. That won't help. You for this to be a counter, you can't take extended range ammo or anti-aircraft. Those lower the attack too much. You can tech saturation or photon loop. Yeah, I dropped on both of my rhinos. I bought the tower one as well. This should clear out the hackers. And then these rhinos should clear these out. These melting points. Kind of upgrading the skill balls. I'm hoping I can use them to. Well, I need the extra damage. It'll kill this faster. The experiment to death now. Kill these fortresses faster. It'll kill the sandworms faster when these lock. Range is just to try and keep them in front of or behind everything else. I was getting worried that like, even if they lock on the sandworms, they will be killed before they get rid of the sandworms. And I'm suspecting I'm going to get flanked here, so I'm putting down more of these things to sit in front of the mountain. Yeah, this rhino was a bit unfortunate for me. But in a way, it turned out okay because I died. Um, that means the money's not going to these sandworms. I don't know what's happened here, but it used to be that when the sandworms popped out, due to EMP, they would come up and they would take an attack and then go down and spawn more of the larva. But I think they fixed that. Or maybe it's a bug of Strike. So it used to complete its attack. So maybe these EMP wasps are actually good against Sandworm again. So it used to be EMP would be a negative against Sandworm. But you can see kind of how out of control they are now. So here, yeah, I'm getting intensive. Have double intensive now. And I'm going to, my plan is to level this. That will let it kill these. It won't quite kill the level 9 sandworm off, but it will kill the larva off. The attack power is going to go into a point where it's not quite a one shot of the larva of the sandworm, but it's like 2 shots or something, or 2 volleys. This round, I was able to pick up a second intensive training, and then I'll use it to upgrade this mountain. And then I put on Photon Loop. As I might have mentioned before, you can use Photon Loop or Saturation against the sandworms. Either of those will help with removing them. Possibly you can put in range enhancement as well, but it depends on your setup. Range enhancement just makes it more durable against everything else aside from the sandworms. But just for dealing with the sandworms, it's better to run Photon Loop or Saturation. Leveling this up to level 4, it should just take 2 shots to kill the sandworm larva, maybe 3 for this. But the smaller sandworms, like this one here, it will kill pretty fast. I believe it's 2 seconds. It pretty much takes 2 volleys to kill the sandworm. Each sandworm. So as this levels, it will get to the point where it will solo all of the sandworms, and that's my hardest counter I could pull out. I think if I was trying to improve this counter, I would probably take Ignite Fang. I could take more Raidens as well. And upgrading the Phoenix and hitting Elite Marksman also makes this easier to deal with. But yeah, the main counter in this section is the mountain, and then the Fang Shield. The fangs will make these stick on the fangs. The fangs with shields will provide proper chaff against the sandworms, and then the mountain should be able to dispatch of them. In terms of dealing with the experimental wraith, I just add an extra tech on the experimental death knell. The best tech for dealing with these here is actually shield into shield recharge. This was played just before they nerfed it. It might not be quite enough anymore. But you used to be able to tank the the Wraith completely. If this is high enough level, it should still be able to. I think this might need to be level 6 or so to do that again. So there would have been that option for me to go into, but I think I used a lot of my money on the mountain here. Rightly so. But this should still dispatch most of the race. I get rid of the big Wraith. The smaller Wraith will be not enough to take on my my death knell. You'll see here, I don't kill all of them, but I get through, I think 2 of them. The death knell's not going to be able to beat this. As I mentioned, it has very low health, relatively. So these worms actually counter the death knell. It seems funny. You expect that energy absorption would help here, but it doesn't. It's kind of a wasted tech against the sandworms. The only way you can get the sandworms to die is by sticking them on fangs and then having something else kill it. So you'll see that the mountain was able to level, so it's going to be even harder. I think it ended up killing, yeah, it killed 3 worms, so it's pretty big. I pick up the scorpion. This is just for victory points. I can tech acid attack. That will make this even harder for the sandworms. I have a bit of a difficulty killing the scorpions here, so I'm gonna try leveling the death knell and seeing if I can stick. Yeah, I pick up some mustangs. This will just put an extra barrier in between my death knell and the boss, so they're also kind of good into the fangs that are showing up. You'll notice I put most of the scorpions on this side. Scorpions are they're not really good shaft clear, but they end up being very okay against fangs, like relative to any other non-shaft clear unit. Scorpions are actually somewhat okay, especially considering they have double shot, so the 15-meter splash is pretty big, and with double shot, each shot clears out a fang. Roughly half a fang pack, or somewhere between half and 2 piss. Let's see. We'll see them slowly working on that. Move my mountain this way. The worm player is forced to beacon away from me. If they beacon into this, they'll lose most of their worms. And then it will level, and then I should have intensive training again, and it will hit roughly, yeah, it'll hit level 8, and then it will kill all of them. So that was the correct play from them to move away. My experimental death knell, yeah, it's struggling a bit, but gets through most of it. I mean, I have some problems here because I've had to commit so much to that side. Um, I'm not able to properly deal with the bosses. And here, I'm gonna have a problem with the death knells. Um, I mean, the shield will pop, but it's just going to be impossible for my mountain to kill all of this before the death knells kill it. That probably means the worms are going to win this round. I mean, it takes a long time to die, but yeah. The worms come in and third party the battle. And then, yeah, these death knells, they'll kill a few worms, but yeah, once the worms, the larvae show up, it can't really lock well enough to kill any more of them. So here, I'm not looking for anything. I have what I need currently. I did consider the death knell briefly, but I didn't think it was good enough. And here, see, I leveled this. It's level 6. These worms are going to die if they path into it. I see this opening here, so I path my steel balls into it. The annoying thing here is this is actually pretty smart of green. They put this tarantula here, and because the death knell is sitting right here, normally it walks forward, but instead it's walking this way, and that's putting more pressure on me from the side. So even though they're not actually pathing into me, they're putting pressure on me. That's kind of problematic for me. So, and having all of this, like both of these path into me, is pretty bad. They would normally have a chance of pathing that way. Yeah, my mountain gets involved. That kills off the experimental units. I did end up replicating my death knells. I thought I needed to just keep kill the boss here. There were too many shields, I think. It's going to end up killing them off, but I think that's fine. As long as maybe one of these survives, it's not too bad. And you'll see here, this is where the worms really get wrecked a bit. Like, they get through it, but it's quite the cost for that. The level 9 sandworm's still there, so it's still going to win this round, probably. but it's going to be significantly less than it could have been. And yeah, even another one drops because of the high level fortress and things. My other kind of counter to this is sometimes I will pick up fortress early, and if a fortress ends up equally leveling against the sandworm, I'll use that. It's I can put on armor enhancement and something else, and it usually manages to kill the sandworms off. If you had a launcher overload, that would also work. Like armor and launcher overload, then you kind of plop it down in the same place as the mountain here, and uh, that will kill it off. The mountain did level again, so it's a level 7 mountain. It's kind of ending this. Like it's pretty like he can path into me, but he will lose probably at least half of like, these, and then maybe he takes it down, maybe he doesn't. So it will be pretty painful. I moved I used the redeploy that you get to move the death knell over here. Uh, that's another reason why the experimental death knell is pretty good nowadays. You have the redeploy, so you can invest kind of heavily in it. I hit the replica range extension. I thought it needed a bit more range, and then it can counter this better. Um, my main worry is just the things manage to lock onto this. And having it at range means that it's less likely to happen. But yeah, I'll have two very long range experimental death nails. And they're not like good at killing chaff, but they have 4 beams, so sometimes they can kill enough chaff that it helps. The shield goes down. I did beacon the steel balls out behind, so they locked first on the death knell. This mountain's untouched. I kind of hope to be able to deal with these sandworms uh, before they have too much larva. But red actually did counter the sandworms to an extent with the fortresses. Again, it's a partial counter. It's not full, but it ties them enough that I actually get a few snipe on one of the sandworms before contact. So here the level 9 sandworm is getting actually dies to the mountain. You know, see the kind of damage it does. All of them die. So then it's just cleanup. It dies to the death knell, but it's done its job. And yeah, that ends the game. So yeah, I think A good response to sandworm is this mountain. I picked it up. I believe it was like round 6. It was kind of expensive, but it was is really predicting that he would go further into worms. If he hadn't gone further into worms, maybe it wouldn't have been as good, but it still has some potential to deal with the sandworm here. Um, Even without it, like as long as it levels a bit, then it still works into that. Death Knell is not a counter to sandworm. I would not suggest that unless you are going Death Knell with Steel Ball and Mechanical Division, and sometimes you can make it work. Um, a lot of the time, though, the sandworms are just a bit. It's kind of a stat check almost. You know, the sandworms are too far ahead. You can't actually beat them. So yeah, mountain's the best option. Other option is if you get fortress early enough. This this guy here could have used his intensives on this fortress here and leveled that. And it does have an advantage that if you level it, get armor enhancement, you can tank waves like this here completely. But it would also manage to help kill this off pretty easily. Uh, it would fairly well catch up to the sandworm in damage, I think. Again, armor is pretty good for the counter. The super heavy armor is pretty good. The heavy armor or the armor module is pretty good. Launcher overlord is also pretty good for it. And sometimes you can get away with elite marksman if you have that. Any of those 3 techs are decent for this. And then the Fang production is also decent if you add shields to the Fangs. And then Ignite also helps, but less than the shields. Then another option is War Factory. If you get War Factory and you get Launcher Overload, it's even better than the Mountain with Launcher Overload. Sorry, the base War Factory is not as good as the Mountain, but yeah, with Launcher Overload, it will kill these so fast. It has a bit of splash, so it kills the larva even faster than normal. And then, yeah, the damage kind of skyrockets with the Launcher Overload. So you can use that as well. Also, if you get it improved, War Factory will also do that. Yeah, Raiden, it kind of helps. Like, you can do Raiden. I think the Scorpion. I have Scorpions in later rounds. Scorpion helps with acid. Like, this is pretty fairly significant for dealing with the sandworms, but I think Scorpion right now is probably maybe the highest damage ground unit in terms of burst. I think that's at least per price or per level. And 3 techs would be double shots, acid, and the yeah, convergent fire. And that will also deal with the sandworms. So I hope this helped you. Yeah, if you see sandworms, you do have to play to counter them, but it is very possible to deal with them. It's not even if it starts to run away, you have some chance to come back and deal with them. as long as you know that the threat is, you're paying attention to the threat. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.